Welcome back, everybody. Happening right now, a massive housing project is underway in Minneapolis. They are rehabbing two neighborhood buildings to create the largest public housing redevelopment in city history. So here's what we know about it. City and state leaders joined the Minneapolis Public Housing Authority to break ground on the Spring Manor redevelopment project in northeast Minneapolis. They say $78 million will go towards rehabbing 221 existing units for seniors, while also building a new 4-story building with 15 affordable accessible units. Improvements include new kitchens, bathrooms, HVAC systems, windows, and community spaces. Officials say that the redevelopment will help more than 200 seniors remain in their homes and neighborhood.
Residents wanted more shared spaces and amenities. Hearing this feedback, MPHA is adding nearly 4,200 square feet of new resident community space in this project.
Construction is expected to last 14 months and will be wrapping up in late 2026. It has been a tough year for local nonprofits and for some small businesses. That is especially true for a local shop that straddles both of those worlds. Wildflower Coffee Shop has spent years serving customers, plus offering support and job training to young people struggling with homelessness. Last month, though, they learned that critical funding sources for them have been cut in half. Kent Erdahl visited the shop to find out how they hope to keep their mission alive.
Good morning, how are you? Good, how are you?
Wildflower Coffee carved out a unique space in the Twin Cities community.
Hello.
Even before it had a space.
Iced or hot? We started as a coffee cart in 2017. It felt like the right risk to take.
Founder Carly Kammerer says that's because from the beginning, Wildflower has been fueled not by caffeine or even profit, but a core mission.
Our program is for youth experiencing homelessness age 16 to 24. They're all referred to us from a provider like a case manager or a shelter worker or a street outreach worker.
We saw Wildflower's impact
4 years prior, I was homeless.
Firsthand.
But now I got my own apartment.
In 2020.
It's great. I love it.
Val McKenzie was part of the first class that received job training and support inside Wildflower's first physical shop, which opened at a time when pandemic restrictions forced many to close.
I mean, it was weird. We opened and we couldn't have people in this space. Like, we're open, but you can only come for carry out. We didn't have furniture. It hadn't arrived yet, but it didn't matter.
For here? Okay.
Which in some ways is kind of nice, because looking back, we actually didn't really know what we were doing.
Can I do almond milk?
That's definitely not the case today. Shift leads are busy getting ready for another round of young people who will begin training in 2 weeks in Minneapolis and over in St. Paul, where a second location opened a few years ago, fueled once again by the mission.
We're already getting more applications than we were able to support here in this shop.
The expansion helped Wildflower employ 44 young people last year. 98% improved or maintained their stable housing, and 75% graduated an additional life skills training program.
When they come into our program, they work with a job coach who stays with them for up to a year after leaving our program.
Oh, baby.
But the future of their program is currently in doubt.
Little touch of that hazelnut syrup.
Yes.
In an Instagram post a few days ago, Carly shared that a critical state grant has been cut in half due to budget constraints.
We are facing a really sudden $200,000 funding gap.
Grants and donations historically fuel about half of their mission.
You want room for cream? No.
But she knows she's not the only one seeing that math change.
The philanthropic world is feeling strain.
Which is why Carly is focusing on the other half of the business.
Any sweetener?
Asking the public to make the switch and help coffee sales fill their cup.
I think all nonprofits are asking our donors to give more, which we are certainly asking our donors to give more, but we are also a social enterprise, and so we're trying to lean on that a little bit more and say,
Thank you.
You also can make a huge difference in just switching your coffee drinking patterns.
Alrighty.
And whether it's a single online order, a monthly bean subscription, or a visit to the shop, Fueling Up will fuel the future of this mission. In Minneapolis, Kent Erdahl, KARE 11 News.
The gates to this year's Minnesota State Fair open in just a few short hours, but not before the dairy community gets together to crown its 72nd princess. Reigning Princess K of the Milky Way, Rachel Vesser from Hutchinson, will be passing her crown down to one of the 10 county dairy princesses tonight, who who, of course, are vying for that very important title. Fessler joined Belle in the backyard last night to talk about the exciting year she has had, and so we just have to say congratulations. Big news for Minnesota anglers this weekend as the DNR bumps up the walleye limit on Mille Lacs Lake. Starting Saturday, anglers can take home up to 3 keepers from the state's second largest lake. Oh, I love Mille Lacs. The DNR says that it made the change after observing, though, that fewer walleye being caught this year. They say that the reason for this is because of the so-called slow bite, meaning that the fish food is abundant and they aren't as attracted to fishing bait. The new limit runs through the end of November. Stick with us. We got some more news and weather coming up after the break.